I definitely keep a guard up. I'm definitely like, I don't really trust too easily. And I'm also the one that was used. I'm also the one that was, they want to hang around me because of my daddy. I had to look at friends, teachers, this, that, family members too. Like, everybody's not gonna be there for me. Everybody probably just want one thing from me, or because I know who that is, or because I am who I am, they want to be around me. So I've always had to keep my guard up and just be true to myself, because if I know that I am loving myself the way that I'm supposed to and respecting myself, then I know that I won't allow no one else to come in and do anything different.
Toya and Reginae.
Yes.
So glad you're here.
Thank you for having us.
How are you?
Good.
How are you?
I'm good.
Like, really, how are you?
For real. Like, I'm doing really good.
You know, sometimes, how are you?
I'm good.
As Black women, we gonna have a real conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
We used to saying when you're not good. But today, I'm feeling amazing.
You are. Yeah. Why?
I woke up this morning. I have a beautiful family. I'm blessed. And, you know, it's just at that point in your life when you're turning a new leaf, it's like you have to just celebrate the wins in your life and the blessings that you have, and not always focus on negative things.
Yeah. What's the new leaf?
The new leaf is just new beginnings, like new things, like new opportunities. Just a lot of great things is happening. So I'm excited about that.
When we say let's focus on the negative, focus on the positive and not the negative, do y'all feel, and I'm speaking to myself, I'm ministering to myself as I talk to y'all too. Do you think sometimes we're just sweeping stuff under the rug? Or is it really just trying to redirect your mind? Or?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to and what you're talking about. But, you know, we do, as just people in general, like when you're talking to people, especially like when you're not used to talking to them. And sometimes when you're used to talking to them, you don't want to like throw your problems on people or just talk about things that you can't change. You know what I'm saying? So why even, like what I'm talking about? I'm good. I'm gonna figure it out, whatever. And sometimes we really be good.
Yeah. I'll say this though. I hear people say that a lot. Why talk about it? It's not going to change. Talking does help, though. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, but,
And even if it does, and I do believe that there's power, there's change. It may not change your situation, but it may change something else. It may change another perspective. It may actually bring change. And I'm just speaking to you like I'm speaking to myself, that we get so conditioned, like, well, you know, I can't change it, so I'm just going to leave it alone and I'm just going to move on. And what's the point? But you have a reality show, so that's essentially putting it out there, talking about it. How has that been therapeutic for you? Helpful, harmful, more pros, more cons?
Well, you know what reality TV is basically like. You just broadcasting
all your business.
Right. You know, things that you're going through in real life. So it can be therapeutic in ways because you're tapping on, you know, these topics or whatever, and then you're also getting poured into from different people about it, and you're actually tackling it with the person that you have the issue with. So it's a form of therapy, and it's also, it could be draining. You know, it's a lot with reality TV, but you know, that's what we signed up for, that's what we do, and we've been doing it for so long. It's kind of like, we're used to it now.
Second nature.
Yeah.
Do you listen to folks in the comments? Like, are you just totally ignore it and just live your life?
I feel like also I want to add with reality TV, it's like a perk because a lot of people, they go about, you know, moving a certain way or doing whatever and not seeing actually how they react or seeing it back. We can actually react in some way and watch it back and be like, oh, whoa. I didn't know I was like that. Or, oh, I need to change how I talk sometimes. Or I need to, so that's what for years I've been really teaching myself and learning from myself what I do put out there. I'm like, okay, I can really watch it back and be like,
reflect.
I can reflect on it. Yeah,
definitely.
So that's a perk for being on TV.
You definitely
and
see yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you
really see yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
you get to see yourself for real.
What, do you listen to people in the comments? Or do you just completely ignore?
I mean, I'm not really like the type of person that let the comments affect me for real, for real. It's more like I don't like when being lied on or told stories about. So it's like second nature is just to defend yourself when you know you're being lied, when somebody is not telling the truth about a situation. But you can't, I mean, people gonna say what they want to say. They're gonna talk about you whether you're doing good or bad, and that's something that I've realized. Like, they're gonna always have an opinion.
What about, I have a daughter, so I have one, she's 17, going to be 18. What about the mother-daughter dynamic? How has that, affected the relationship more positive? Well, you're saying you're seeing yourself on camera. What has been the pros and cons with that?
Oh, well,
now keep it real now today. I want to. I really want to know, like,
Reginae, as far as the show goes,
just in general, your relationship. Not the show. Just having to have a mother-daughter relationship in real time and dealing with everything, in real life. And the cameras don't follow everything, so it's still life outside of that. But how has it strengthened, your relationship or affected it?
I would say, like, with our relationship, we pretty much have a pretty strong relationship. We good. But like any other mother and daughter, we do have times where we bump heads and don't necessarily agree on situations. And, we might get into it like everybody else, mother and daughter. When you are raising a daughter, it's like you have your moments where you're grown and your mom feels like, she's trying to share her experiences to avoid you from making that same mistake type of thing. But in reality, they have to learn on their own. And we had quite a few of those moments in real life and on reality TV. I think the thing with me and Reginae now that she's an adult now, my daughter has always been the type to like just defend her parents. Like she don't like nobody messing with her parents. Like she's just naturally, I don't know, she's like
being
that.
with your parents, they can answer for you. And they, like, honestly, working with my mom, I love it because I know she always has my back. I'm never gonna be in no weird business situation. And my mom's always, read the contract, read this. I just know that I'm always looked out for, and I love that about it. But it is like bumping heads because I'm older, and just a mom-daughter relationship. We do bump heads, but it makes us stronger, and she's my best friend, so.
Now, you don't play about your parents, like you just said. Is it because when you just mentioned she protects you so much, do you feel you have to,
I don't know. I was raised where we all protect each other. Like, we all go hard for each other. We all, support one another. That's why even with this show, with my mom and her family dynamic, it's sometimes, it kind of hurts my feelings sometimes because me and my mom, we're such a package deal. We go hard for each other. I know my mom would literally give me everything off her back. She don't even care. She would do that for her family. So to see her not being appreciated and not being loved the correct way when all she do is give out that love, give out that appreciation, it hurts me. And even with my father too, like, I am their biggest protectors because I know they protect me as well. It's a package deal.
Yeah. How did your dad receive that? Does he tell you stay out of, don't worry about it, or he just let you?
I feel like the older I get, the more I know when to stay out of things and when I can. Like, sometimes it gets a little hard because it's like, why y'all can't stay out of it? This is my daddy, this is my mama. So sometimes it's real hard and people don't understand where it's like, I'm not trying to be that, always trying to rah-rah, always coming at people. No, this is my parents. I know they're Toya and Lil Wayne to y'all, but they are literally my parents. If anybody disrespects your parents in your face, you're going to be like, hold up. Now what's going on? And that's just what I do. But I have a public, I have everybody watching me, so it's different.
And it's times we always tell Reginae, don't stay out of it. Like, we, as parents, we always say that.
I know this right.
Stay out of it. Now she just
no, you play with my mom and daddy. That's just that. They officially put you in it. You don't have nothing
to do with this, stay out it. But, now that she's grown, she really, like, I don't care. You're not going to play with my mama. Like, you're not going to play with my daddy.
You mentioned the family dynamic. how do you, like manage that line of not being disrespectful, but still, trying to defend or try to get involved, but still with all of the dynamics you have to deal with, which I want to talk about in a minute, but all that weight on her shoulders. How do you keep that respect line, or you ain't worried about it? Once they cross the line, it is what it is.
So that is where I actually, even like with the show, like kind of like the backlash with the show, they kind of say like, oh, she's disrespectful to her uncles or her aunties. No, I'm very respectful to my uncles and my aunties, the ones that respect me as well. I have seen so many years where they disrespect my mom. They disrespect me. They disrespect my dad. So it's like, it's really hard to give out that respect when I never seen respect come from them. So it's like, it's not that I try my hardest to understand, yes, you guys are older than me, you are my uncle, you are my auntie, but the way that you're moving, the way you're behaving, the way that you're disrespecting my mom, it's hard for me to give you that and to stay in that lane with you when it's like you're going all over, you're disrespecting my dad, my mom, you're trying to exploit things that's not even true. You're just like, so the respect, it lessens as I see how they react and how they move. But I do feel like I try my hardest because I never grew up with them like that. I grew up with Casey and Rudy, God rest his soul. That's who I really grew up with, so I'm used to talking to Casey like that. No one knows how Casey was like a brother to me more than an uncle. My mom raised them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a different look.
That's a lot on you. So I'm gonna get to that, but I want to ask, do you feel taken for granted? Because your baby just said you're taken for granted, so.
Absolutely.
Why?
In life, people go through things in family. Let's start there. My family is not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But the one thing I will say that I have always did was try to, bring my family up with me. And I have the hardest time, like, I guess it's guilt, or it has a lot to do with the way we were brought up, how we never really had that brother-sister bond, that mama-daddy, brother-sister bond. Everybody was always split up, and it would either be my brothers together, my sister here, me there. It's like it never was really a family dynamic. So as I got older, that's something that I really wanted. Like I wanted to be closer to them because I grew up with my cousins who were like sisters to me, and I know how our relationship was. We had like the perfect like sister cousin relationship. Like we never argued, we never had these issues, so I never really had to deal with that on that side. So as I started to build with my mom's kids, I guess it was because of like her dad's success. Like it just was this entitlement. It almost always felt like I had to buy love, type of thing. And when you are the person in your family that is able to help out and you have a heart, especially like mine, it's like that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's without feeling, you don't want to feel used or like unappreciated, but if you can help in certain situations, you do. And it's always been more of a what I can do versus, okay, that's my sister, how are you?
Right.
How your day going today? Do you need anything? Whether it's just you need something with work or anything, it's never been that. It's always like what I can do for them, and never, it's never reciprocated. And the minute you say no, you know how that goes. It's like you're the worst person in the world. But I love my family. I still to this day, no matter what we may be going through publicly or whatever, that's still my family and I love them. But the difference is the 42-year-old you see sitting here today, I'm learning to love from a distance. You know what I'm saying? And set those healthy boundaries because I can't let the dysfunction I come from, I can't bring that into the family that I'm creating because when I'm upset and I'm crying, like my daughter say, I don't teach my daughter to be disrespectful to her elders, like or to her, to my brothers or to my sisters. I would never want that. I always taught her to be respectful, but at the same time, you have to look at the dynamic of the family. My daughter grew up watching me being disrespected, watching her dad be disrespected, watching her mom constantly get hurt by the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, how do you want her to feel when she's the only one who have my back? Like nobody comes to my defense. It's like it's always been them against me. And I know in family, people, I'm sure it's a lot of people in my situation that could relate, and then it's those people that, oh, it's her, it's them. They want to be perfect. They this and they that. Nah, that's never the case. Like we are far from perfect. Since I've been on reality TV, I have always been open and honest and vulnerable. I've never hid my life. I never pretend to have the perfect life. You didn't see me be married, 3 times? You didn't see me cry a million times. Like, I've always been who I say I am, but I don't like to be lied on. Don't lie on me. Like, because one thing for sure, I love them. And I did have a sense of, it always is sometimes a sense of guilt when you are the one that
it's called survivor's remorse.
Yeah, it's so like just so you want to reach back.
It's used against you. It's also always called codependency. Have you ever talked to a therapist about that?
Yeah, I'm talking to a therapist now.
Did they tell you you're codependent?
Yeah.
And it's used against you. I'm saying because it'd be used against me.
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about your mother's dynamic and, her struggling and all that, literally children with, parents that had any type of addiction, all of that codependent, the survivor's remorse. Okay, I made it out. I got to look back. And it's used against you, bottom line. And I could even hear you talk, even when you're saying, well, I'm setting the boundaries, I'm da-da-da-da-da. But they still family. They still, that's still in you saying, but
I don't have the F you kind of mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have a big heart.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I do understand that I can't continue to keep being a fool and letting people take me for granted and make a fool of me.
Right.
I have kids that's watching me. I'm like, this is my family I'm creating. So I have to be the strong person that have it together for them. I can't be broken.
What does strong and having it together mean?
Meaning, like, listen, if I'm not pouring into myself and taking care of me and right mentally, I can't be the mother they need me to be. I can't be the wife my husband need me to be. I can't be the businesswoman that that I need to be successful, because I'm stressed out. I'm drained. I'm just, emotionally a wreck. So it's like at some point you have to take a step back and be like, listen, you have to set those healthy boundaries. And that's where I'm at. And it's like when you do that, you're even more the problem.
Right.
But you have to do what's best for you. And that's just that.
Right. Very hard. I'm saying that from experience. Like, no matter what you do, it's never enough.
And that's what I'm starting to realize. That's one lesson that I had learned in my, years of living, is that no matter what you do, for some people, it would just never be enough. And you just have to be able to see that and be like, okay, cool, I'm done.
And it's a grieving process too.
Yeah.
Of cutting off that I'm done. How has that affected, like, watching, because when you say you saw her, go through this growing up, how has that affected your relationship with men? Men, women in general, but I'm leaning heavy on men because a lot of time, when we see like, okay, I'm gonna make sure this, or, how has that affected you?
With men. Or
women in general, just any relationship. Like when you watch your parents go through certain things, it kind of puts you on the fence.
I definitely keep a guard up. I'm definitely I don't really trust too easily. And I also just make sure that I know people are there for me. I have a different upbringing. See, besides her upbringing, looking at it, I'm also the one that was used. I'm also the one that was, they want to hang around me because of my daddy, or they want to, so that was her family that she feel like I had to look at friends, teachers, this, that, family members too,
stay angled all the time.
Yeah, so it was always, so I'm kind of used to that type of thing, so I keep my guard up. I understand that everybody's not gonna be there for me. Everybody probably just want one thing from me, or because I know who that is, or because I am who I am, they wanna be around me. So I've always had to keep my guard up and just be true to myself, because if I know that I am loving myself the way that I'm supposed to and respecting myself, then I know that I won't allow no one else to come in and do anything different.
Is that hurtful? to have to keep your guard up all the time?
Um,
Like that, it's exhausting
Not
sometimes.
really, because I feel like not even just me being Reginae, I feel like everybody should keep their guard up, because everybody's raised differently. Everybody's not gonna understand how you cope with things, how you move around, just period. So you have to keep your guard up, because if you don't, you're gonna think that that person have the same heart as you, or that's gonna love you like you love them, and it's not, and that's gonna hurt your feelings.
But when are you ever able to lower that guard? I'm saying as Black women,
No,
period, we
yeah,
always got our guard up. So I'm trying to learn, like, when do we know it's okay to be vulnerable in a situation?
Well, not to go deep, but in politics,
No, let's go deep.
In politics, they're trying to tell us what to do with our bodies and stuff like that. We can't never let our guard up as Black women. I'm sorry, just because of the fact that we are strong women, we care about ourselves, we ride for ourselves, we ride for our family. We are our family village. A Black woman is the strongest person, creature I have ever seen. So I feel like, with that being said, it's no letting up your guard.
I get tired of being strong now.
I know. It does get tired.
Like, we sit there looking
It does
cute
get
and all that.
tired.
But I'm just telling you,
It
I get
does
tired
get
of
tired,
being
but that's
strong.
when you go to, that's when
Yeah,
you,
we definitely strong,
that's when you
but I'm
pray.
just saying it get tired.
That's when
like
you
that
pray.
just gets tiring. I mean, I'm an advocate, what I do in full time. This is just extra, but having to carry the burden of, family and my daughter and the world, literally I feel the world is on my shoulder. But I'm just saying, I am saying for us, we get tired of always having to be strong and always having to be cute and always That gets exhausting. It just does. And we just got to name it. Like, we got to name it. Like, check on your strong friends. Yes. Check on the other day when I was going through something, I'm fighting for the federal workers, and a friend of mine was like, oh, but I know you'll be fine. You won't let it get to you. I'm like, how you know?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. Yes. You don't know, like, if it really is getting to me. And I think we operate in that posture. I mean, I can see it with us now, even in this dynamic. We operate in that posture. And I'm hoping we can get to a place as Black women where we can be vulnerable sometime to somebody. Always having to walk around with a guard all the time is a lot.
Me and my friends, we do devotionals every night.
Then.
We read, we talk, like, we have our time.
You have your tribe that you can.
But that's the thing. Yeah. You can't be vulnerable to everybody, because you don't know who's there for you and who's real.
Right.
Like, you could sit down, you can have, my mom have women groups all the time where like she goes around and she talks to women and she boosts them up, make them feel like. Where I just did a meet and greet with BLK. We had a girls' night. We all talked about our accomplishments, how the men be doing, how some of the mothers feel drained. Like, it's cool to have that tribe village and that tribe, and not always think about men or this. Right. Like, literally have a group of women that you can trust, that's strong, and that's also motivates you. Yeah. Be around people that you like, oh wait, so and so, dang, she's motivating me to do it. Don't be around nobody that's like, you always motivating them.
Now, me personally, I'm not big on the group thing, but I think I'm very blessed. I've had two best friends since I was 10 years old. No, I don't need no. You check that checked out. Like, no.
What's your sign?
I believe in life paths. I'm a life path 9. Go look up your life path, because anybody can be a sign.
When is your birthday?
I'm not giving you my sign. You trying to get a sign. Actually, I'm a Gemini Cancer cusp. I'm on the cusp.
Okay.
I'm a Cancer. But go look up your life path, because you can be born on the same day in a different year and have a different life path. So I'm a life path 9. So if we're going to get spiritual, lean on that. Because there's a lot of cancers around it that ain't the same. So I've been blessed. I've had the same best friend since I was in the 5th grade. It's not a lot of women you can go through grade school, middle school, high school, military, marriage, college. So that box is checked. So they get my most vulnerable places. Right. But I do love conversation. I love conversation with other women, but I'm not big on a bunch of. If Jesus only needed 12, I'm cool with 2.
I'm the type of, I'm a girl's girl. That's one thing I have always been. So I feel like this platform is bigger than me doing reality TV. So I use my movement to pour into other women. Right. I have a movement called Sis, I Celebrate You, where I celebrate women, and make them feel good. And sometimes creating those safe spaces where women are able to network where
Yeah,
they're able
yeah.
to come
And I'm
together.
with all of
Because
that,
everybody don't have that blessing that you have with friends.
Sis, I'm saying build a
Yeah.
tribe. You know, I'm doing
So-
a town hall about building a tribe.
Exactly.
I was just speaking to, like, when I really tell my business for real, I'm saying
You're
that
supposed to have your
I want to be
your
clear for the
ones.
camp, you know, that we're talking
yeah.
about tribe, like, you know, community, that's community. I call that community. But when I'm talking about like truly vulnerable, like what makes me my
definitely. You
weakest,
have your-
when I take the Band-Aid off, those are my two best friends. But as far as
definitely-
women,
My mom
My
is the
village.
one
I have
that I
that.
take
I
my
have
Band-Aid off of.
yeah,
My mama,
it's such a
only
blessing.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, same. And I have that too. I have friends that I've been friends with, 2 or 3 of them for over 20 something years.
Yeah.
And that's my village
Right,
that I go
right.
to pour into, who's there for me during the good, bad, ugly, who know, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just been the same, you know, the energy is reciprocated. We're there for each other.
Yeah.
And I think every woman deserves that.
Oh yes, for sure. You mentioned raising your brothers, basically raising them. How are you handling that grief?
Yeah, that's tough. Like losing a sibling is very tough in the way that they passed away. And you know, it's just so sad because we lost 2 siblings, so you would think that our family would be so much stronger. You would have thought that, you know, after something as tragic as that would happen, that would bring the family so much closer. But, you know, unfortunately, it's the same way it was before they passed away. And that's just what breaks you down, because it's like, look, they're not even here anymore, but we still have a chance to get it right. And this is what we're choosing to do. Like, this is how things is going. So it's kind of sad, but you know, it's just the reality.
That could have broke you though.
Yeah.
Like really broke you literally. Because of the work that I do, I work with a lot of, you know, victims of police brutality with Attorney Benjamin Crump. I've walked in so many rooms, you know, with family members that have lost somebody suddenly, and I've seen it break people, like literally break people, lose their mind. How have you sustained?
I mean, you know, it's been a couple of years now, so of course, like, you know, having that village, praying, you know, just my village really helped me get through it too. You know, just
Sometimes do you just cry and let it out?
Yeah, it was a lot of times
even now though today, because
yeah.
grief is up and down. It
Yeah,
never
it
really goes
hits you,
away.
like
It
you
hits you
never-
out of
yeah,
nowhere. Last
definitely.
night, so my eyes are puffy last night because my mom passed away on the 29th of March, 2016. So I don't see it as a long time ago, even though you lost 2016. But sometimes it can just hit you. You can literally just be doing something random and it just, and I just let it go. So I was curious, do you just, and have 2 at the same time? That's, wow.
It's tough. It's tough. But we have, you know, their kids, and, you know, we feel like we still have a part of them through their kids.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Is there anything, as we close, that you want people to know that's a misconception or something I could easily ask you, oh, what are you promoting? But that's not the energy I'm picking up. Is there something like you just really want people to know that you think has maybe been misunderstood? Or
I would say a misconception, like people, I would say, really, to be honest with you, what you see is what you get. Like, I don't really have to really explain too much of my character, because what you see is what you get.
You're not
like,
performing.
I'm not, it's not a show for me 24/7. It's not me performing. You know, although people take whatever they hear and they kind of run with it, that's just the world we live in. Whatever people hear is the truth. No matter, they can hear one side, this the truth. I'm standing on that. They can hear this, it's the truth. But long as you know your heart and who you are, it's like sometimes you just gotta let that stuff go and just not even feed into it. With me doing my show with my family, you know, that was an opportunity I looked at, like, you know, for my family to kind of be able to step up, you know, create a name for themselves, promote their music, show the world, you know, give them a chance to do things outside of that, not just on this show by sharing our story. Everybody take what they take from it and move. I can't tell you how to navigate when it's done, but I can give you the platform to set you up, and you go ahead and do
Parlay it into whatever.
and turn it into just like all the millions of other people have done. That's been, that business oriented, that's been a part of reality TV. It's more than just you showcasing your life. You take that and you build something off of it, and I can't set that up for you outside of this. You know what I'm saying? I could try, but I can't navigate the way that your life needs to go. And it just be so sad, like, when you start hearing just all this stuff of how people feel once that version of it is done and you're moving on with your life and you're stepping into different things and continuing on throughout your success, and you got to feel blamed because you didn't do what you needed to do when you had the opportunity to do so.
Maybe they weren't ready.
It's like
you can only set up a person so much, but if it's not for them,
but you can't blame me, and you can't beat me up about it. Like, it's like I helped you, and when I went, the truth of the matter is I could have went any other way with this. It could have been Toya, Reginae, and friends. It could have been, you know what I'm saying, so many other things, but I still go back to help lift y'all up. And it's like, it's just never appreciated. But I said that to say, with this new chapter that I spoke of when I sat here for the first time, I'm just excited about it. I'm just ready to just move forward and just fully focus on my calling, the things that I love doing, and I want the world to see more of that. I want to focus on my daughters, my husband, and just the life and the legacy that I'm trying to create for myself. It's like, sometimes you have to, close one chapter and just keep going, keep going. And that's just where I'm at today. Like, I finally got to that point.
What about you?
Yeah, she said it.
She said it?
Yeah,
You like Mama said it.
Definitely. I feel like for years I kind of been saying the things where people get misconstrued about me, but really, I'm a sweet person. I just like to have fun. I'm young. I'm still learning life. Everybody's really hard on me because they seen me grow up and they seen me just react in ways where it's like this. I was spoiled. I was bratty. I was this. I was that. But now I'm getting older, humbling myself, understanding that life starts lifing, and I understand that you need to humble yourself. Like you have it today, it can be gone tomorrow. So I just want everybody to know I'm a cool person. I'm chill, and I like to have fun, and I like to make money.
Last question, because when you said calling, so in Louisiana, so my family's from Louisiana, so we know that death is celebrated. It's about at the end, and we sit around the body 2 and 3 4. When I was a little kid, bring the body in the house and have a wake and sit around 2 or 3 days. So I've always had an appreciation for transitioning, and I've always focused on what's going to be said when I'm gone. I'm kind of weird that way. I don't do birthdays and all of that stuff. And it's like, what's your birthday? Everybody got a birthday. My birthday is millions of other people's birthdays. I've always focused on the dash. What happens from the time I'm born to the time I die? My parents and the Lord put me here to be born. I can't control when I die. But the thing in the middle is what I have the power over. The thing in the middle is what should be celebrated. The thing in the middle is that dash. When you say you're calling, what is that dash? What is that thing that you want? When you go on, what's that thing, that legacy that you want to leave behind, that somebody can stand up and say, Toya this was her calling?
I would say exactly what I'm doing. Like, Toya was the person that was always, who I am. I want people to see more of who I am, and what I say with my Sister I Celebrate You movement. How I'm always the one to I'm always pouring into and trying to uplift, because I believe that in life, a lot of us go through life with our cups empty, and it's like, who pouring into us? So to me, I just feel like it was a reason that I was even supposed to be in a spotlight. And I think that's more of my calling, is to do things more around that type of vibe. Like outside of the other things that I do, me being an entrepreneur, real estate, different stuff like that, I think that whole "sis, I celebrate you" piece is a part of my legacy. Like that's what I'm gonna be that's what I wanna be remembered as. I'm a great mother. I take time out for my kids. Like exactly who I am. Like that's what I want. That's what I want my ending to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate you
having
being
me.
here.
Thank you for having us.
I want you to really continue that chapter you're on and know it's okay to have some of that self, to be selfless for a moment. Because you look beautiful. Both of you look
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I'm looking good too, by the way. Yeah.
I told you that when I...
But there's a lot under this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot under this that we deal with.
Yes.
And I just think as Black women, we just have to let other women know, like, yeah, we celebrate you.
Yeah.
Sis, do your thing, but no, you're not hurting by yourself. You're not by yourself. You're not alone. You got God, but you also have some women that's cheering and rooting that you don't even know exist. So I'm cheering for both of you.
Thank you.
And I love your relationship. And I hope my relationship with my daughter stays just as close, you know, as it is now when she gets into adulthood. So tell me, where can people catch the show? How can they watch it?
So they can watch it now on the All Black app. You can stream it live on Watch All Black. And I guess the WeTV app.
All right. We'll be watching.
Yes.
Thank you.